Ollie Wines out there, he looked sensational. Is he an outside chance for next week?
Oh, slim. It'd be news to me if he is. No, I would have thought we'd still stick to the time frame. I've heard nothing to the contrary. So he does look good out there. He's able to join in some drills today, which is good. He's obviously been running around for a few weeks now, so that's not foreign. But now starting to join in some drills. So now it's just a matter of when we introduce some contact, and that's probably the last progression before he plays. But I would have thought that's still a couple of weeks away.
He hasn't tested out pain-wise how he's going or anything like that?
No, it's still a step-by-step. I mean, the last hurdle we'll have to tick is make sure that he handles contact. In the end, that's his range and contact are the two most important things, and while his range is improving, the contact part will leave till really late.
Have you, like we all have, locked in Willem Drew as his replacement?
He's stated a strong case, hasn't he? There's a few of the young guys that have stated really strong cases. Look at the first-year players, the way that they've gone about their JLT series in their pre-season. They've put themselves in a really good position. Drewy's, almost come from nowhere, really, given the time frame that he's had away from the game in the last 12 months. But since his return from that, he's had a really strong pre-season. He's had 2 really good games, so he puts himself in a good spot.
Got quite a few players who are sort of under a question mark, haven't you? With Ryder, Dixon. Will you take just a safety first approach with them instead of rushing them in?
Not really. I probably have more the contrary view. I think we're looking at a group that's completed a lot of the pre-season. The ones that we expected not to be there at this stage still remain the same. The one you're referring to is really Paddy only, and we'll learn more about that as we go across the week, and we'll sort of probably more know into next week more so than this week about how he's going. But no, we come in quite fit and healthy. We are coming in with the ones we knew were missing were the same ones 2 weeks ago. The one that's been thrown on top of that has probably been Paddy.
How do you assess where Paddy's at, given he moves fine? He's just got a thing up here.
Yeah, that's how we try and say it to him. But look, that's over to the doctors. I mean, really, it sort of it's out of our hands now. There's a few boxes you'll have to tick to satisfy the doctors to ensure that he's okay. The footy part's secondary because, as you said, he can run, jump, still tackle, but obviously got to be mindful that it's a contact injury, and so we'll obviously take precaution where it's needed, but at the same time push a little bit more if we need to as well.
How does he get the all clear, Mike?
Beg your pardon?
How would he get the all clear?
Oh, well, the doctor and him have to have that conversation. Once that's passed from them, then it's over to us as a match committee, and I think we can put his name on the board.
Could he wear a mask?
I wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't know those details at the moment. I mean, for us at the moment, is he's had what he's needed to do to fix it. I've only just seen him floating around here this morning, and I'm not too sure where he'd go in the mask. But I'm sure they'll entertain all those options. But it'd be way too early for me to tell.
So just risk of re-injury is probably the only, like pain-wise, he'd be okay. Is it the major concern?
Oh, I think it's more to do with the pain and pain tolerance and how sore it is more than anything else. If that's tolerable, then he'll probably play.
When's he going to have the assessment? When's it expected?
Oh, that wouldn't be into next week. I would have thought we'd get to the last training session and we'll determine whether he gets the all clear from there. But yeah, we'll wait. We had the luxury of being able to do that because he's completed a fair chunk of our pre-season, so he's healthy. We've just got one little thing that we need to make sure is right to go.
Hamish Hartley getting close as well. Will he play for the Maggies? I don't know if they've got a game this weekend.
Not this week. We'll have a little bit of a scratchy tomorrow just to make sure that we're getting some game time on the belt. So it's probably more relevant for Hamish than anybody else. All things going well, he'll certainly play round one, whether that's actually AFL or whether that's in the Magpies or not. We'll wait and see. I mean, we're obviously, pretty happy with the side that, played on the weekend. They all got themselves in some really good form. So, I sat here last week and said, they were in pole position, but they don't have exclusive rights. But they've all performed very well. So they've put them all in a very, very good position to play against Melbourne.
And is there a chance we could see 4 debutants, Dersma, Drew, Butters, Rosie. Chance all four could play.
Yeah, strong chance. And then when you put Scotty Lycett on top of that, we could have 5 in that category. I know Scotty probably fits in a slightly different basket, but Burton's the same 6. So that's a big change. It's really exciting for us. If we do get in that position, there's obviously clearly a strong chance it will. If they can play, it's what better way to start? Play at the MCG. If you get that opportunity, I'm sure they'll remember it forever.
With all the new boys that came in last year, it took time, and we spoke about it towards the end of the year, that they needed time to gel, and that's why the results hadn't come for some of them. Do you think that you guys have changed the way you coach these new debutants and blokes that have come in and draftees so that it takes less time to gel this year?
Well, I think that's more of a possibility given the fact that we've gone about changing a fair bit in the way we play. So in some ways, as a group, they've been all learning together. We've looked at what we stand for as a football team. That's different. We're looking at the way we move the ball. We've made some modifications there. Defensively, we're setting up differently. If anything, as a 45 or 46 on the list, they're all learning everything together. So that helps because they're all very much on the same page. It's now just the time they spend together and how they get used to the patterns they run and becoming really trustworthy up the field. But again, I don't think that's relying on one person. That's relying on us making sure that we stay connected as a team, as an 18, not just as a 1.
Have you seen enough from Dougal now that Jared's gone down with a knee?
Yeah, we did. He went back, played pretty good. So he was able to have a pretty good game down at South Adelaide. So he's put himself certainly up there. I mean, he always will. I mean, Doug's just got to get himself in some good form, and he's clearly in that conversation. He's we're better with him in the team, up and going.
Sounds like he's a bit down on confidence from some of the grabs we've heard over the last week or so. How's that occurred over, I suppose, just the pre-season and one game?
Not so much. I mean, you raise Lino as personnel. I mean, there's guys that pop up, and Drewy's been one throughout the year, and Lino's been another, where they've just got stronger and stronger over the pre-season. So it's a healthy position to be in because we're having conversations, and really tight conversations, about what types of mix of players we want and who's in the better form, and it was purely that conversation. It's who were the best 6 or 7 in form at the time, and that was the 6 or 7, and one goes down, so we'll look at another one.
So how does Dougal lose confidence in a pre-season?
Well, I think you're making the assumption he's lost confidence. I don't think that's it. I think what we're saying is that we've certainly had players that have been playing pretty well, so they've got the priority. So that's the way I view it, at least, anyway.
So what's Dougal's failings at the moment? If it's not a confidence issue, it's just a matter of getting himself back to full fitness or playing better? Or
I think it's just a matter of getting himself in good enough form. Yeah, that's what I think it is.
AFL's set to announce some sort of manoeuvre with the grand final, whether it stays or goes over the next couple of days. Do you have an opinion on that one, Mike?
Well, I probably more have an extremist view because which I'm happy to go for it. But I sit in the basket where the grand final should be played in different states every year, and that state should bid for the grand final. Improve the infrastructure of our game, throughout the country. So I only see massive positives in being able to do that. So if you're asking me whether we change the time slot, I think I'd be okay with that.
So you'd be able to play it at
Absolutely.
any time of day?
Absolutely. I mean, our game is it is. The grand final's gone beyond just whether it's an AFL game. It's an event, and people come to it. And it doesn't matter where it'd be played, people would go to it. So we have a fantastic venue, obviously, clearly with the MCG. But if we can increase that spectacle, and I guess being north of the border, I've seen the NRL move their time slot. I think it's a great spectacle. There's wonderful opportunities how we can make it better. Why wouldn't we look at it?
What do you reckon the benefit of moving it interstate would be? Is it just about the infrastructure and improving things that way?
I think it's just it'll improve our game. The expansion of our game. We're trying to grow our game right across the country, and if I see a scenario that if that was ever to be thrown up, and let's be honest, it's a bit pie in the sky because there's agreement in place that says it's going to stay at the MCG for a long time, but I only see positives in the growth of the game of being able to shift it around the country. And if states are able to build, well, that means we're going to get bigger stadiums, which means we're going to have more presence as an AFL code. And when you're taking on other codes like the NRL, then I see it only as a good thing.
Do the players have a preference in time of day or night?
Oh, if I'm playing in it, no, because I'm in it. Played at midnight if you like.
Midfield without Ollie Wines, is that ready for Melbourne at the MCG for that task?
I think so. Yeah. Look, I think every team doesn't want to be just hinging on one player. Whether that's got to do with as a total 18 or whether that's got to do with a unit. He's an extremely important player to us. Ollie's, our co-captain, and he has an enormous presence, and we'd love him there in the game. But we also have to be better than just thinking that one person's going to get the job done for us. We've spoken all pre-season about connection as a football team, how we're not going to rely on one certain individual to get things done for us, and we all have to be on the same page. And that message hasn't changed. In fact, if anything, the belief has just grown.
Thanks, Vossi.
No worries. Cheers.
Thank you.